So good morning everyone. Welcome to another session of structural analysis. In the previous class, we have taken up one problem wherein we have calculated all the unknown moments, and along with that we have calculated MA, MAB, all those things. So we are left over with one thing, that is shear force in bending moment. These two things, the analysis, reactions. After that we have to calculate our shear force and bending moment. So we'll note down the same question here. So can you give me that question? So there was a cantilever, right? Yeah, this one. So the previous beam was like this. We have a simple support here and one more support here. We have a UDL that is 20 kilonewton per meter, and at the cantilever we have it is 20 kilonewton, not 22. It is 1.5 meter. This is 5 meter, and this one is 2 meter and 4 meter, and the load acting here is 100 kilonewton. And we have named this beam as A, B, C and D, isn't it? This is what we have named, and along with that it has given this one as EI, this one as EI, and this one is also given as EI in the problem itself. So now we have to calculate shear force and bending moment for this beam. Okay, so how will you calculate shear force and bending moment? Before calculation of shear force and bending moment, we have to calculate reactions. Okay, for the calculation of reactions, what we will do, we will try to split this part, that is AB. Okay, so this is AB. We have one point load. This is 2 meter, 4 meter, 100 kilonewton, isn't it? This is point A, this is point B. See, at fixed support we will be having three reactions, isn't it? One is vertical, another one is horizontal, and one more moment will be there, isn't it? So here, since in the entire beam we do not have any horizontal force, that is why this HA or RAX, whatever it may be, this horizontal component or horizontal force will become 0, isn't it? Now, but we have moment here. What is that moment? We have here MAB, and here also we have MBA, isn't it? What is the value of MAB we have calculated? Minus 55.27. So since we are showing it in anti-clockwise direction, we should not write minus sign there. So 55 point how much? 27 kilonewton meter. Alright. Now here, since it is going in clockwise direction, what is the moment acting over there? 66.9298. 66.98 kilonewton meter. Okay. Now this one I will name this as RA, this as RB. Alright. So RA and RB we can calculate with the help of sigma x is sigma y is equal to 0, isn't it? So we have to calculate reactions. So RA plus RB, that is sigma y is equal to 0. I am doing what here? Sigma y is equal to 0. So RA plus RB is equal to 100 kilonewton. No vertical force, no any other vertical force. Now going for moment of all forces about point A is equal to 0. Okay. So here you see we have an anti-clockwise moment, there we have clockwise moment. So here is minus 55.27 plus 66.98. Then here you see here force into perpendicular distance, 100 into 4. It is going in clockwise direction. So 100 into 4 minus RB into 6, isn't it, is equal to 0. So if you solve this one, you will get the value of RB. What is that? 68.61 kilonewton. Okay. Now with the help of this RB, we can calculate RA, isn't it? So what is the value of RA now? 31.38 kilonewton. All right. Next, what is the next value we have now? Next is span. This is for span AB. Now we'll go for span BC. So if you draw span BC here, this is B, RB, BC, this is RC, isn't it? So what about this one, you tell me? We have a UDL over the entire span. Intensity of this is 20 kilonewton per meter and this is 5 meters. So instead of going for sigma x is equal to 0, sigma y is equal to 0 or sigma m is equal to 0, we can calculate this reactions directly, isn't it? So what is the total load acting on the beam? 20 into 5, isn't it? W into L. WL by 2 will be RB and WL by 2 will be RC, isn't it? So for span BC, RB is equal to WL by 2. What is W there? 20 into 5 by 2. 2 ones are 2, 10s are, so 50, isn't it? 50 kilonewton. What about RC? RC is also WL by 2, isn't it? 20 into 5 by 2, which is equal to 50 kilonewton, isn't it? But still, we left over one more thing, that is these moments. What are these moments we have? What is this moment? 66.98. What about this one? 67.20. So it is almost one and the same, isn't it? So if you 67.20 minus 66, how much? Will become again 0, almost 0. So RB and RC will be the same thing, that is 50 kilonewton and 50 kilonewton. Now we'll go for another span, that is we have one more span. What is that span? CD, isn't it? So CD, see here, we have here RC, okay, and we have here 20, isn't it? So what will happen to this one? We have here one moment also. One moment is also there. What is that moment we have? MCD, how much? 30? Yes, minus 30. Minus 30 or don't write minus 30. Since we are showing it in anti-clockwise, so we will name this as, this is C and this is D. We do not have any reaction at D, isn't it? So what we will do here now? Again, in case of your cantilevers, you do sigma y is equal to 0. Sigma y is equal to 0 is RC is equal to 20, isn't it? So since here we got directly RC is equal to 20, so no need of going for sigma m is equal to 0, sigma y is, because if you calculate moment at this point, it will become 0, isn't it? So instead of going for that, directly sigma y is equal to 0, that is RC is equal to 20 kilonewton. Okay. Now after this one we will go for the calculation of shear force and bending moment. Leave it. So I see you have copied this one. Yes. So I hope you have understood how to calculate reactions along with the cantilever portion, isn't it? Now, since we have all the values along with us, so we will try to calculate final reactions. That is, we got 2 values for RB and 2 values for RC, isn't it? So final RB, final reaction, RB is equal to how much? We have got 2 values for RB. Add those 2 values. What is the first value? 68.61 plus 50, right? How much? Yes, 118.61 kilonewton. What about RC? We got two values for RC also. How much? 50 plus 20. 50 plus 20, which is equal to 70 kilonewton. Okay. Now after this one, we can go for the calculation of shear force. So see here, I will drop this point. Since we have A, B, C, D, I will write here E. Okay, for this force. Wherever we have point, project that line in downward direction. Now I will start the calculation of shear force. Shear force calculation. Either you can start the calculation from left side or right side. We'll try to solve from left to right, so that upward forces will become positive and downward forces will become negative, isn't it? So since here we have RA is going in upward direction. What about this? What is the value of RA? RA, just now we have calculated, no? So what is that value? 31.38. Next, what about RB? Yes, 118.61. Then what about RC? 70, isn't it? So these are the values, final values which I have written here, and all these forces are going in upward direction, isn't it? Right? So RA is equal to how much? At A, shear force at A is 31.38. What about shear force at E? I am coming from A to E, isn't it? A to E. Do we have any force in between A to E? No force. So what I will do now? I will write down the previous value. What is the previous value we have? 31.38, isn't it? Now since we have point load there, what I will do? I will write here at E suddenly. What is the previous value? 31.38. Since this 100 kilonewton is going in downward direction, so minus 100. 100 minus 31.38 is how much? 61 or 67? 68.67 kilonewton. This is minus, right? Why? Because it is minus 100. So it will become minus 68.67. Then after E, I will go to B. So do we have any force in between E to B? No force. So what I will do here? At E, write the previous value, that is, sorry, at B. Write the previous value. What is the previous value? Minus 68.67 kilonewton. Okay. Since we have point load at B, what I will do there now? At B, suddenly, what happened? What is the previous value? Minus 68.67. RB is going in upward direction, so plus 118.61. What is the value now? 118.67 minus 68.67. 49.94 kilonewton. Okay. Next we have at C. Now see here, I am moving from B to C. From B to C, do we have any force? Yes. What is that force? UDL. UDL is going in downward direction. So what is the previous value we have? Plus 49.94, and at C, from B to C, UDL is going in downward direction. So 20 into 5 is 100. It is going in downward direction. So minus 100. Okay. So what is the value? 50.5 50.04 minus 50.04 kilonewton. Okay. Next we have at C suddenly something will happen, isn't it? We have point load there. So at C suddenly, what is the previous value? Minus 50.04. It is going in upward direction, so plus 70. How much? 19.98 or 20 we can say. 19.96 kilonewton. Okay. Next, after that one, we have at D. So from C to D, do we have any force? No force. So write down the same value, that is 19.96. Then at D suddenly what happens? Suddenly, what is the previous value? 19.96. It is going in downward direction. So minus 20, you will get 0. Able to understand? So that means reaction at it should become 0 there. So we have done, our calculation is exactly correct for that. So we will draw the shear force diagram for that. So at A, what is the value of shear force? 31.38. At A, this is 31.38. Then next, at E, same value, that is 31.38. At E, 31.38. Next, what happened? At E, suddenly it came down to 68.67. Minus 68.67. Minus 68.67. And make sure that whenever you mark any point, you try to join that line immediately. Otherwise, many students, what they will do, they will try to join like this. Okay, many times it will happen. So as soon as you mark this point, you join this one. Then if you mark here, then like this. Alright, so very carefully you have to write this one, 68.67. Then after that, at B, it is 68.67 again. 68.67. So what you will do now? Try to join like this immediately. Then at B, suddenly it went to 49.94 plus. So this is 49.94. Then after that one, at C, what happened? It came down to 19.96. At C, it is minus 50. See here, at C, it is minus 50. Minus 50 will be coming here somewhere, so just above this line. So minus 50, this is minus 50. Then we have at C minus 50, then at C suddenly it went to 19.96, somewhere here. 19.96. Okay. Then where is 19.96? At C suddenly. Then at D, 19.96 only, this one. Then it came down to 0. So this is plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So if you see this beam here, the shear force is maximum at this portion, isn't it? Then at this particular portion, shear force is very less. So that means in the cantilever portion, we can increase the spacing of rebars, whereas in these parts, especially in this part, we need to provide more rings or shear reinforcement for this one. Okay. So here, at some certain distance at center, it is becoming 0. That means we do not need rings there. So that is why whenever you see any beams, if you go on site or if you see any drawings, structural drawings, you can observe that the portion which is near to the columns, they ask you to provide rings at 7 inch center to center, Whereas till L by 4, what do you mean by L by 4? L by 4 is span is suppose 20 meters. So L by 4 is nothing but 20 by 4 is 5 meters. Okay. So till 5 meters you have to provide 7 inches or 150 mm or 200 mm center to center. Then after that, at the center portion there is not that much requirement of shear reinforcement. Okay. Because shear force will be maximum at joint. What do you mean by shear? Shear is nothing but, since we have column here and beam here, so we will be having large amount of shear force developed here. So to reduce that shear force, we need to provide shear reinforcement at the junction of the beam. Okay, this is nothing but your shear force. All right. Then after that, we will go for bending moment. Is it over, right? You people can pause it and you can draw it. So one more thing you can do in this one is you try to, give it some aesthetically you make it very neat, that you try to put on some design like this, so that you will get full marks for that. Okay. So you need to do something, you have to present in such a way that people should get attracted, isn't it? Presentation is very, very important. So try to present it very nicely. And all the 5 questions, since the syllabus has been changed, so till 3 units, I must say till 4 units. Till 4 units you have to draw the shear force and ILDs for that. Okay, in 4th unit we will be having influence line diagram, that is for moving loads. We have some guidelines, influence lines. So there you have to draw again diagrams for that. So try to draw the diagrams very carefully and neatly, so that the examiner, instead of seeing your calculations, they will see directly the diagram. The very first thing what they will see is the diagrams itself. The diagram is good, diagram is perfect. Wherever point load you are showing sudden increase or decrease in the shear force, and whenever there is a point UDL, you are showing some inclination in the shear force, then ultimately without looking up your calculations, they will give you full marks for that. Okay. But for getting these values, these diagrams correctly, you have to do the calculations correctly, isn't it? So vice versa, both are together, but try to focus more on your diagrams. Okay. Diagrams are very, very important. So your diagram will give you or will help you in getting full marks. Okay. So now we'll go for the calculation of bending moment. So bending moment, again it is very simple. We do not have to do large amount of calculations in bending moment. Why? Because we have direct values for that. So bending moment calculation for span AB. For span AB, see here, since the point load is eccentric, isn't it? Eccentric. So what is the formula for bending moment? Yes? WAB by L for bending moment. For fixed end moment, WAB square by L square, all those things. Okay. So for whenever you see eccentric point load and the bending moment, if you want to calculate bending moment, then it is WAB by L. So W is how much? 100 into 4 into 2 divided by 6. How much? 2 ones, 2 threes. 133 kilonewton meter. Again I am telling you, units are also very, very important. They will see the units also. Okay, for force kilonewton, for bending moment kilonewton meter, for fixed end moment kilonewton meter only. Okay. Now for span BC, for span BC, whenever you see UDL, then bending moment will be WL square by 8. Okay. For fixed end moment, WL square by 12. Okay. So WL square by 8. So W is how much? 20 into L is 5 square by 8. 5 5s are 25 into 20 divided by 8. Or else 60, 62.25 kilonewton meter. Now what about the last portion? Last portion we have already calculated. Okay, no need to calculate that. MCD we have calculated. So now we'll draw the diagram here. The bottom portion is visible in the video. Yes. Right. So the diagram will be. See here. First I will draw the diagram for bending moment. Okay. So what is this? How the diagram will go for this one? It is parabola or inclined line? For this one it will be inclined line, whereas for this one it will be parabola. Okay. So it is 133.33. Oh, somewhere here it is 133.33. So this one will be inclined line, whereas at this portion, as we all know, whenever shear force changes its signs or becomes zero, then that particular point bending moment will be maximum. We know this one, right? So here, what is the value? 62.25. Somewhere here it is 62.25, and this one will be parabola. This height is how much? 62.25. I will write this value also in between so that it will be easy for us to understand. That is, this is 133.33. Okay. Next one is, we have final moments. We have MAB, we have MBA, we have MCD and MCB also. What are those values? MAB 55 something. 50.27. Next we have here one value, MBA and MBC. What is that? 66.98. Okay, both are same, almost the same, so no need to go up and down there. What about this MCD? 30. So 30 I will write here somewhere below. 30. Here bending moment will be 0, fixed end moment will be 0, all the things will become 0 here. So this one, and like this, isn't it? So this is negative, positive, negative, positive and negative here. Okay. So this is your bending moment diagram for the fixed beam. Okay. Is it visible in the video? Yes. Yes. Okay. Right. Pause. How many? 28.